I got a call recently for a really unique project. There's a guy locally on a houseboat, and what he had in the houseboat is this piece of furniture. It's like a couch. It's like a wooden frame couch with cushions on it. And what he wanted to do was get rid of the couch, but build something a little more permanent, like a banquette that had storage underneath. And he had some other drawers in the area. So that was the storage. We need drawers to match the existing drawers. At first, I wasn't going to film this thing because I needed to focus. This is a whole different animal, a completely different animal. However, you use the common practices that you have, that you've always learned, and you apply it to the unique situation. A unique situation where the floor is not straight, where the walls are not straight, where the thing that slips in between the walls and structures are not straight. So it takes some learning. And I thought there's probably a fancy laser kind of machine that would read this area beautifully. And I've since found out there's even like tick sticks, I think they're called, which might have helped a lot. But what I did, I took a piece of 3/4 inch paint grade plywood over there. The overall length of the project is 95 inches. So what I had was 96 inches. I brought it over there and I started scribing, and I started cutting and fitting several times before I really dialed it in pretty well. There's a couple of obstructions you'll see that we had to work around. Anyway, I wasn't going to film because I needed to focus. And then I thought, I need to film this. And you didn't really miss much. I did some scribing I didn't film, and I built a face frame. And so there's a face frame in the front of the structure, and the scribe is on a piece of plywood that's the top of the structure. And the face frame also had, it's a rectangle, but the bottom is curved because the floor of the boat has some curvature to it. And the top of the seat, it's a parallelogram against a curved wall. It got pretty complex. So honestly, once I got those two pieces figured out, the rest was much simpler. Maybe not simpler, much more straightforward. I could see my path a lot better. So we're going to enter this footage after I got those two pieces built. And I didn't want to waste time with every step demonstrating everything. So I just kind of set the camera with no volume and showed, and I'm going to do some voiceover to explain what I'm doing. But it's a really unique project, and I did want to share it. So I hope you enjoy it. You can see this is shaping up. I've got a face frame that's mounted to the top, and it's upside down right now. There's only like one straight edge on this whole piece, and that's the front. As you look at it, the front outside upper corner, but now it's upside down. That's the front, and that's the top, and that's the outside corner. This was scribed to the floor, and it fits very well, but it goes from 1.75 inches to 2.25 or so, and it actually gets bigger here, and then jumps down again over there. But the end is 16.5. This end is 16.5, and I'm going to make the outside back corners 16.5. But what I'm going to do, can you see? I haven't cut it yet. I drew it out. I'm going to only have, and instead of having a straight edge going all the way across here, what if the floor does some of this? And I guarantee you it does, because it does some of that over there. So I'm going to cut like a 1-inch reveal and then curl it back at the ends. So only the ends are going to be touching. I've got pocket hole screws to connect it to the top and connect it to the face frame. But another deal is we continue with nothing being completely square. Like And I know this piece is square, so I lined that up with the face frame. Well, it's off 5/8 of an inch back here, or 9/16, something like that. But when I install this, here's another thing. When I line this up, I get it flush up here. It's off a good eighth at the bottom. So instead of putting my sidewalls a little like this and a little like this, I'm going to do everything coming off of the face frame square and straight. So this is going to be, and again, it's going to be jammed in between some walls. So if this has a little offset like that, it's going to be exactly like that. No one's going to see that. But on the inside, it's going to be a nice square rectangular box. Same thing over here. It might even be a little more dramatic. It's actually in the other direction, because this whole top is a trapezoid like this. It goes like this. So in the front, it hangs over, but in the back, it hangs over here. It's sometimes you got to pay attention. I don't want to say it's difficult to wrap your head around. You just got to pay attention and you can see it all. We got consistent spacing here for the drawers, and then another consistent spacing here. But this piece is like this. It's actually like this. Plenty of pocket hole screws to hold everything. This is, the face frame is pocket hold to the top. It's pretty secure. And once I get these on it, after I get this, I'm going to put another full back. I need to go get another sheet of plywood tomorrow. I'm going to do the same mentality. It's only going to sit on the floor here and there, and it's going to have the 1-inch space. And I'm not going to try to do something in the center because who knows what it's doing. But if I give it a 1 inch of space, it'll be able to sit on 4 corners and rest. If I put something straight, guarantee it's going to be like, it's going to be rocking and wobbly and no good. I took the top over there today. I'll share a picture. It fit nice and snug. There was hardly a correction, but I made a few little corrections. And then I took the face frame over there. I had it pretty close from my template. I scribed it again and corrected a little bit. So I'm very pleased with how that is coming around. So that's kind of it for this evening. Tomorrow we're going to work on these rounded reveal cuts, get a piece of plywood for the back, and then we got to start building the drawer frames. And then we got to start building the drawers. Everything's going to be tedious on this one. Hard money is what my wife says, and she's right. This is hard money. The next one will be a different bid for the job. But this is how you learn. This is 100% how you learn. I'm not complaining. I want to get through it. So anyways, let's get through it. We'll come back tomorrow and carry on. So we're moving right along, but I got a hiccup. You can see my drawers that I have made, and I just need to make the drawer bottom and slip it in from the back. It's going to be fastened to the drawer front, and fastened to the rear piece of the drawer box. And this isn't my design, but this is the design to match what they have in the boat. But one thing I goofed on, this piece right here, there's a dado taken out because the drawer front's not attached to a box. The drawer front is part of the box. That's part of the, I don't make drawers often at all, but when I have made them, I make a box and I attach a drawer front. Well, this is all integrated as one. So you see the drawer side attaches to the drawer front. There's no additional box. But what I goofed up on is this little part here is too tall. As far as being tight, it's about 1/8 too tall. So being comfortable, it's about 1/4 too tall. It needs to be closer to this height. And I've already glued and nailed these. And the boat has dovetails all over the place. I was going to consider it, but everything in here is more than expected. So I'm not going to consider that anymore. But this is fine. It's glued. It's going to be nailed very well. It's very sturdy. I think it's very nice. It's a little feature here, which gives it a look, but it also acts as a stop to keep it from going all the way out because it's going to hit the face frame as it comes out, which is also what they have in the boat. The finger hole, nice, clean on the inside. So there is no in lieu of hardware, it's the finger hole. And there's also a notch in the side. And when you have your face frame, you put the drawer in, the face frame, oh, it drops right there. So to pick it up, to pull it out, you have to pick it up 1/4 inch and then slide it out. What? And it's got a little bit of play. I think that's a safe amount. But what we got to do is drop that down because the drawer doesn't fit in the hole. When I realized this was after I built the second unit like this. The first one, I realized that I needed a chamfer. Let's go look at the whole deal on the inside. Here's the whole deal. Here's the first one I built. And they are going in. See, if I just line the bottom up, the top won't fit. But if I tip the bottom in, oh, this one also, that's where I learned I need a little chamfer on here. That was the first thing I learned. So here is another one I built with the chamfer. So I went back and added chamfers to all the rest. So tip the top in, and then it just eases in, clears, and then it slides and fits lovely. And when the gravity is holding it this way, it won't fall out, but you lift up a little and then it comes out. And it won't go all the way because it hits, even with pulling on the bottom, it hits there. It's a nice little setup. But the second one that I built, this one is actually good. I could put it to the side. The second one I built, let me show the difference between these two. You can see the one that fits, this rabbet is in line with the top of the drawer side, and the drawer side has about 1/4 inch clearance to fit in the opening. Well, this one in the finished position that fits, but getting it to that position, this is in the way, and I need to take off 1/4 inch. So the first time I had the drawer face, anyway, I'm gonna show you my solution. Let's go take a look at that. And I put this away because this is a good one. And that's a good one. I have two good ones and two that need correction. This is my sample drawer front without the rounded edges, but it allowed me to sample all the other fittings and cuts before I started digging into the nice material. And you can see this side is a little wider than this side because this was the correction. And what I did with two of those, because they weren't built into drawer boxes yet, I just had a loose frame. I had the dado raised at the level that I used to make the perimeter cuts. I just moved the fence over a 1/4 inch, essentially, and ran it through, and it went really well. But now I've got 2 of these. We're cutting the top, got to pay attention to all that. I have a couple things. My idea is to cut it in this configuration because the others were cut in this configuration. I don't have that as an option. So here's my option. Cut it in this configuration. So I need to hold the box with all the weight over here. So what I did, this difference in space, it's just under 1 inch. I made a little piece here. It's got a stop on the back. It's got a stop on the back that the drawer will fit into, and I don't want the drawer to go and slide off and this stays still. So with the stop on the back, and I can place it right here, I'll be able to even use that to hold it and push, and it'll maintain this position, this keeping the drawer front perpendicular to the blade up against the fence. Instead of having some weight over here wanting to pull it down. So here we go. And I've got it set a little shallow and a little far away so I can creep up to the finish cut. I don't want to overcut anything. How do we do? We're close. Actually, the height is perfect, but there's a little bit of an offset here. I need to move the fence over just a smidge. I think that's it. Let's give it a run. I'm going to call that good. I'm going to have to clean that up with some sandpaper. Let's go check the fit. How about that? So, tip it in with the chamfer. Everything good? I'd say so. Good. Okay. I think we escaped trouble. I'm going to have my head spinning on these too. I got a few curveballs. So here I mark a 1 inch radius on the cherry drawer fronts. I take it over to the bandsaw and I rough cut around that 1 inch mark, and then I bring it back over to the router, and with these corner guides I flush up a nice clean 1 inch round over. So now I start cutting a groove in the sides of the drawer box components, which are mahogany. And this is where the 1/4 inch Baltic Birch drawer bottoms will be placed. Then I make the notches to catch onto the face frame, and then I move on to the back of the drawer boxes. I shaped one nicely and I used it as a pattern to make all the others. After rough cutting on the bandsaw, then I bring it over to the router and clean it up. Then I drill a 1 inch hole in the center of these with a Forstner bit. I just mark the center, drill a hole. And after I get all my holes drilled, we're going to go over to the router table to put the 3/8 round over on all 4 edges of the drawer front, and even on the center hole, the finger pull hole, just like they have on the existing drawers. And it all ends up being a really good match. Very happy about this. I did have some of that end grain react on me, and I had to fill it a little bit, but I think I did a pretty decent job with that. Dealing with that center hole also had its concerns. I had to make sure the bit was centered perfectly over the hole or under the hole as I placed the drawer face down onto it. And then also, as I crept up on that bearing, I wanted to grab the wood against the bearing to help just control the piece. And they all worked out really well, all 8 drawer fronts. I'm really happy with the way this unfolded. So then I take it outside and I start off with a 3/16 round over just to kind of break the edge and get going. Then I bring in the 1/4 inch, and this is the final pass. It worked really well. It's a nice smooth finish. The router was adjusted well. So now all the clean edges are in place. I bring all the drawer fronts over to the table saw and put the dados in on all 4 edges of each of the 8 drawer fronts. And then I start assembling boxes with the 1/2 inch mahogany pieces. I glue and brad everything together, and then the box actually mounts directly to the drawer front. And a little bit of glue, a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of brads. Then I take my 1/4 inch Baltic Birch, cut my drawer bottoms, which eventually slide right in. I do apply some glue against the drawer front. I nail it to the drawer front. I nail it to the drawer back. The very first one I had a few blowouts, so I had to pull them out and try to hide that as much as I could. All the others went well. All the drawers fit into their respective holes nice and well. And that was it. I didn't go into any detail of the front lip edge, but it's also cherry. The entire face frame and drawer fronts is all cherry. The box is made out of rift oak, 3/4 inch rift oak, and underneath the feet and the face frame I used this thick brown felt. I never ended up using the black felt, but I bought it just in case I might need it. I left it with the customer in case he felt like there's anywhere he might want to put it. So here's the job site, and we get into installing this beast. There's the little tiny scuttle hole door on the side. The entire carcass and drawer fronts, everything got covered in 4 coats of Total Boat Gleam satin finish. And I was really impressed with the finish, with all of it. I'm not a painter or a finisher, but this really came out really nice. It's nice to learn. It's nice to improve on some of my game. Getting this inside the boat was heavy, so it was slow and tedious. Just getting it through the door was the first big concern. And once we got it in, we found ourselves challenged with not a whole lot of room on the inside, but we still made it through. And I had to shove some of the furniture out of the way, even though I thought I kind of had it cleared before we got in, but it's still in the way. But I shoved a little and moved a little, and we were able to eventually place this on the ground. The underside, inside is all painted with the general finishes, milk paint, linen finish. Everything turned out really nice. It would glide on the wood floor because of those thick felt pads I had. It slid right into place. We were ginger and delicate with it, but it just slid right into place. Just a little fidgety at the very end, but look at that. And is that a happy customer? I believe so. Then eventually we put all the drawers in there. You slide them in and they drop into place. And maybe the tone, you might wonder, maybe the tone's not perfect, but there's so many different colors within there. I think it's all as good as it could be. And if I have any complaints about what I did, I put 4 coats of that Total Boat Gleam. I could have put 5 or 6 coats, which may have ambered it up a little more, but nonetheless, we have a nice finish on this product. It's a nice product. It's a custom fit. It's exactly to his specifications, his request. He's going to put some cushions on there, have some cushions made, and that's going to be a place to sit. It's going to be a place to store things. It could even be a place for a guest to sleep. It's just a good deal all around. And number one, I'm happy to have it behind me. And thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next one.